Good morning, these are hot. Ooh, okay, good morning. This is the Kingsburg Downtown Business Improvement District Advisory Board meeting. Today is Tuesday, November 7th, 2023, and our opening time is 8:06. In attendance today are members Mr. Safarjan, Mrs. Hess, myself, Leslie Carpenter, and Amanda Carrasco. Absent are Peyton Lackey, Reggie Gerke, and Lauren Cooper. Item number 2, we're open to public comment. We are also Facebook Live, but they can't comment, just listen. Yeah. Good morning. State your name, please.
Good morning. My name is Stacy Smith, and I'm here on behalf of the Swedish Festival Committee. I just wanted to encourage you guys. I know a number of you are extremely involved in the Swedish Festival Committee, but we're always open for ideas and thoughts and any kind of input, and especially you as business owners. We want to do what we can to partner with you to make it successful, to make it easier for you guys. I know parking's always an issue, but with the activities going on, if you have any questions, please let me know. Just to confirm, it starts Thursday, May 16th this year. So we have the pea soup and pancake dinner in front of the chamber on Thursday night. In Coffee Pot Park, we have the smorgasbord on Friday, and then all day downtown on Saturday with the festivities. The parade will be going the same way, so the same streets will be closed, and everything's closed at 5 o'clock, just so you know as business owners. We start meeting monthly in January, so if you're ever interested in coming down and hearing what's going on, seeing how you can be involved, please don't hesitate.
Are you looking for ways for us to help you in a specific manner?
At this point in time, no.
Okay.
I just, my mom, Sharon Pearson's the chairman, and she's out of town. So we just thought, it's early.
Yeah.
Let's come down here. And, we partner with the chamber on this. So we just wanted to kind of make the introduction to this group. But we do. We love input, but really, we're downtown to make, to showcase Kingsburg, to showcase the businesses. So anything we can do to help make it successful for you guys, we want to keep in mind.
Okay. If you come up with something, let us know. Go ahead.
The one thing I think that I've heard downtown, if we could, excuse me, I haven't talked enough this morning, let the downtown businesses know early enough when the streets are going to be closed off and for how long and when the barricades are going to go up. And we understand, everybody complains about parking in this town, although there's plenty of parking in my mind, but that would help let businesses make arrangements and all that so their employees could park at a different location and all that. It seems like sometimes we do that, but it's at a very late notice type of thing. And so, if we could, as a committee, if we could plan ahead and let everybody in the downtown district know, okay, the streets are going to be closed off this time for how long type of thing.
Very good. I will make a note, and we'll be sure and do that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Tammy from the Kingsburg Chamber of Commerce, and I have been asked to come to the bid meeting this morning to ask how you guys feel about the Thursday. Are you guys going to promote the Thursday nights for Christmas? And if you guys want Santa there, and if you'd be willing to maybe go half with the Chamber of Commerce for Santa. He's a total of $600 for the whole time, which I believe is 3 nights or 4 nights. Not positive.
What's the starting date?
Yeah,
Is it just the Thursdays in December?
This is the first we've heard the Thursday night thing. Or at least I have.
Well, I know. I'm asking the bid if they're behind the Thursday night of shopping downtown.
Oh, okay. So we're going to promote the chamber.
And if we are, would we want to put have Santa in the hut?
And it'd be the Thursdays in December.
Right. Which I do not have those dates written down, I'm sorry.
That's okay. It'd be the 7th, 14th, and 21st.
Right, so 3.
No.
Last year, he was also there like 2 Saturdays or something like that, right?
He will be there, I believe, the last 2 Saturdays.
Is that in the 600 or?
No, that's another fee out of the chamber.
Okay,
The 600 was only for the Thursday nights.
the 3 Thursdays.
7th, 14th, and 21st.
So my store, we did the Thursdays the last 2 years, I think. We opted out of doing that in our schedule this year, and we added Sundays for a couple of hours instead, in lieu of Thursdays. So we probably aren't going to do Thursday nights this season. Last year, I think there was only 2 or 3 of us
Yeah.
Yeah,
that did.
yeah, that's what
With the
that's
time-
what we're wondering.
Yeah, with the time change, 8 p.m. feels like midnight, so it's a little.
Yeah, I mean, if we're not gonna do Thursday nights, then there's no sense in having them.
Yeah. So we could just do a quick poll, like an in-person poll of our retail and see if there's anyone, if there's a majority that would be interested in it.
Yeah, and then you can just let us
And we'll
know.
let you guys know.
Okay,
I mean, I always do it, and the trolley comes through and stops on my side, but I don't get a lot of people because I'm not on Draper.
right.
But I don't mind. Okay, so we'll do a quick
Okay.
in-person retail, and we'll see if we have
Okay,
enough people to,
perfect. Okay,
yeah, thanks,
Thank you.
Jer. Uh-huh.
But it'll be out for Saturdays regardless, right?
He's gonna do Saturdays no matter what?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, if we get some graphics for that, then Quinn can help promote that as well.
Yes.
Okay, alrighty. Any other public comment at this time? Hearing no others, we're gonna move on to, item number 3, approve minutes from the 9/5/23 and the 10/3/23 meetings as presented by City Clerk Abigail Palsgard.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from 9/5 and 10/3 as presented.
Motion made, and,
A second.
a second by June. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, those minutes are approved. Thank you. Item number 4, rock review from member Safarjan.
Just a quick review on this. The purpose of this whole thing was to hopefully get more people into different stores in downtown. I painted 50 rocks. They were clearly identified that they needed to be brought back to RPS, and $5 gift certificates to bid members were handed out. The bid members, only about 6 bid members got back to me that they wanted to participate, 5 or 6, and so we put "and other participating bid members" on it. The rocks were hidden, and help me on this, on a Saturday night,
Sunday night at 10:30 at night,
Sunday night at 10:30 at night.
by the cover of darkness.
And Monday at 10 o'clock in the morning, 2 young people brought in 22 rocks. So it kind of defeated its purpose at that point, and then since then, 47 rocks have been turned back in and gift certificates had me in. Now, my office staff said, "What do we do?" And I said, "Well, if they have a rock, if it's 22 rocks, you give them 22 $5 gift certificates." But I just don't, I wanted to run it by the board. I didn't mind spending the money, and, no merchant has turned in any gift certificates for me to give them any money as of yet. But is it a worthwhile project? Should we do it again? Can we alter it? I'm open for suggestions. I wouldn't mind doing it at Christmas time again, and it doesn't cost the bid any money. Hopefully it makes, very few people are gonna walk into June's store and just spend $5, you know, they're gonna spend more hopefully, you know. So it's a more profitable thing, and it exposes businesses, but I don't think this exposed the business the way it should have, so.
We received three so far, 3 certificates. So we've used those. They were both new customers, first-time shoppers, so that's good.
Okay,
One of them used 2 at once, so I would say maybe, which is not a problem, but maybe in the future, it's limit 1 per person per transaction. So then they're going to different businesses, maybe, I don't know if that matters, but it's been, they're excited to use them, so.
well, good, I'm glad. You haven't called me to.
No, I
bring
don't, I
that?
haven't, we compiled them, so.
Okay,
My husband, when we were hiding them, he said, you know, why aren't you guys just hiding like 7 a week or 10 a week? And
Spread it out.
Spread it out over the whole time,
Good idea.
you know, so that they're in different spots and they have to, I mean, I know, you say there's like 3 missing.
yeah,
I could probably tell you where they are. I could probably tell you where they are because we got a little ornery here and there. Like, yeah, he was like, why aren't you guys just hiding like 10 a week so that there's continual? So even if it's going to be, you know, some pretty aggressive rock hunters, they're going to have to work for it a little bit, you know.
well, and I understood that it was gonna be mostly youth that went hunting for these rocks, you know. Not too many 70-year-olds are gonna be out looking for rocks, you know. But if the committee feels like it's worthwhile, I'll try to put something together again for, you know, the holidays, you know, maybe the first 3 weeks of December, you know, and maybe distribute the rocks in a more 10 a week or something like that type of thing. As long as nobody's watching on Sunday night at 10:30 at night. I was out of town, I appreciate
Yeah,
Leslie and
it was
Greg doing that. I don't know, should we try it again?
I guess that's totally up to you if you're sponsoring it, you know, whatever you feel comfortable with, but it brought other people into our store, so I think that was, but maybe limiting it so you don't have one person doing 22 of them.
Yeah.
That seems counterproductive.
Yeah.
Then maybe do I have the permission of the bid to do it again in December,
The first 3 weeks,
First 3 weeks in December, 10 rocks a week or something like that, or
just split it up however.
12
yeah.
rocks, whatever it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's what we should do. And then I think in May we should hide tiny dollar horses
Oh, that's cute.
for Swedish Festival that month.
I bought Dollar Horse stickers that I'm trying to find enough rocks that are flat enough where the stickers will stick on
Yeah.
them, and I'll do it again for Swedish, maybe the month before Swedish Festival.
Yeah.
I'll promote the festival also.
That's nice.
Yeah, and at some point, the bid should sponsor. I mean, it's gonna, we pay into that. It shouldn't just be one bid member sponsoring that. So I think definitely going forward, if we'll test it again in December, and we'll see how it works out. And if we go forward in the first year, you know, at the first of the year, then I think the bid should sponsor, in my opinion. So.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
I won't argue with it.
Yeah, yeah, I know. So, okay, so we're gonna hide again in December. All right. Thank you again, Steve, for doing that. Item number 5, Christmas trees. Steve?
Christmas trees, what Christmas trees that I went and picked up in Los Angeles at the wholesaler have been delivered to, actually they came and picked them up from my warehouse to the city yard. They are now starting to get them up. I have another shipment coming in hopefully this afternoon. I will pick them up and take them tomorrow directly to the city yard so they can get those up. And then I think we're gonna be short the smaller trees. And
I have 12 smaller trees coming as well.
Huh?
I have 12 trees coming.
Did you order those?
The smaller
Okay.
ones, yeah.
We couldn't find them in Los Angeles. Anyway, so we're going to, those will be distributed. And Reggie's in charge of lights. He announced that a couple meetings ago, so hopefully that'll all get done.
Lights will be in by Friday or Saturday, and then the girls are going to go and decorate on the 17th.
Yes, we have
Yeah.
a good little team
Yeah,
put together.
I have ladders if you need ladders. Okay. And I'll meet you. Yeah, and I'll come and give you a tutorial. Okay. Okay, so it's going to be like Christmas by the 17th. Okay, item number 6. TOD Bike Lanes Presentation of Possible Action, City Engineer Dave Peters. Good morning, sir.
Morning. Perfect. No, thank you. No, it's the same. That's good. Yeah. Good morning, Dave Peters, City Engineer. Thanks for having me. I wanted to give you an update on where we're at with our downtown Kingsburg specific plan. You guys looked at that maybe a year and a half ago. It was a plan that was focused on improving transportation opportunities in the downtown. It had a lot of different components to it. I won't get into all of that. I'm just going to focus on a couple of things today. It was funded by the Fresno Council of Governments Transit-Oriented Development Project. A component of the grant is to promote pedestrian and non-motorized travel on downtown. So again, we had a lot of strategies in there on how to do that. We have submitted a grant application for phase 1 of implementation of the plan, and we were successful, and we received that grant. So next slide, please. And that's what I'm here to talk about today, the phase 1 project. So just a little overview of some of the strategies and objectives in the plan. I highlighted a few. The plan intends to improve opportunities and remove barriers for pedestrian travel, provide opportunities for bicyclists, and also introduce some non-motorized travel options for the downtown area. So again, this is our phase 1 project. Again, there were a lot of things in the plan, but this was a project that we could break out and apply for a grant for as our initial project. The project proposes to construct curb extensions on Lewis Street. So that's similar to what we have out here at Marion and Draper. That shortens the travel distance for pedestrians walking across the street. It also kind of puts them out there on the corners and makes them more visible for motorists, improves safety. So the 4 locations are Lewis, at Marion, Smith, Lincoln, and Washington. So again, a similar design than what you see on Draper and Marion. It'll just be one street over. And then the other part of the phase 1 project is installing bike lanes on Draper Street. So again, this is just a depiction of what those curb extensions might look like. Design will probably be a little bit different than this, but the intent will be the same. Again, to kind of push pedestrians out there on the corner, shorten that crossing distance, and make them a little bit more visible for motorists.
Do they include landscaping?
No, they will just, we'll replace any landscaping that's disturbed, but the majority of the improvements will be just concrete. So, yeah. So in terms of the bike lane component of the project, there's a lot of different ways to put that bike lane on Draper Street. I'm going to start off with the one that we're recommending. So it's similar to the graphic on the left is out of a Federal Highway Administration manual on how to do bike lanes next to diagonal parking. This is an option that they provide, and it's an option that we've actually introduced on Lewis Street back in 2009. So it's been on Lewis Street for quite a while. I think it's been successful. Bicyclists use it, and it has been pretty safe type of installation. Another option that some jurisdictions are going to is back-in angled parking with the adjacent bike lane. So the intent of this is to, when you go to leave, you get in your car and you pull out, you're kind of looking to the left, you can see the bicyclist coming on the bike lane. The other thing that's not really highlighted when they talk about these is the fact that you're going to back over that bike lane into the stall. So you're going to back over the bike lane, whether it's to get in or to get out. So we didn't really see a huge advantage to trying to do that. It would be a lot of changes at once, and so really we thought about it. I wanted to let you know we thought about it, but we kind of have opted not to go that route. Another alternative is to just install Sharo marking. So that's a word play on sharing an arrow. So essentially, it's just that stencil, and really all it does is reinforce what's in the vehicle code already. That if there's a bicyclist in that lane, you have to share the lane with that bicyclist. But this just is a graphical reminder that hey, if there's a bicyclist, watch out. It doesn't really provide a separate space for the bicyclist. Again, it just reinforces what's already in the code. So we didn't really think that was a huge improvement over what's there now. Another alternative is converting the parking to parallel parking. You can see how that would work. That's pretty similar to a lot of the bike lane installations we have around town. The problem with that is we would just lose way too much parking. So. Again, I'm just trying to let you guys know we thought about all these things and to kind of let you guys kind of see how we got to our alternative. And lastly, another idea that came up was putting the bike lane up against the sidewalk so that green strip would be the bike lane, and then you would have like wheel stops and on the other side of the bike lane to keep the cars from coming into the bike lane. And we didn't really pursue that one either, just because you're going to have a lot of pedestrians and little children crossing that bike lane, and so we just didn't think that was ideal, especially if you're loading or unloading things. So we kind of opted not to go that route. And then just a little bit about colored bike lanes. So traditionally, bike lanes have just been a stripe on either side with the bike marking, as you see here in the middle, depicting it's a bike lane. Sometimes it actually has the words bike lane. That's an option as well. A lot of jurisdictions are doing colored pavement in the bike lane, and the reason for that is they're trying to really highlight that, hey, this is a separate space. It's for a separate user. It lets the bicyclist know, hey, that's my spot, and it lets the vehicles know that's the bicyclist spot. So I think a lot of jurisdictions have convinced themselves that this is a safety upgrade. In terms of the color, and we're digging into this more, but what we've been able to find now is the Federal Highway Administration has given interim approval to do green pavement. They have not approved any other colors. A lot of the other colors are reserved for other uses, like blue is for accessibility, handicap. Red is now, as of 2019, for transit. White and yellow are reserved for striping. So you start to run out of colors pretty quick.
Right.
But green is kind of one that they've identified for bicycle facilities. So this is a cross section of how those bike lanes would fit in there. As you may know, Draper's a pretty wide road, and so there's plenty of space, even more space than's necessary to get the bike lanes installed. And in fact, between the vehicles and the bicyclists, not the parked cars, but the vehicles in the travel lane and the bicyclists, there's enough room to add like some buffered bike lane striping. So you might see that. Fresno's starting to do that a lot. They'll actually do two stripes side by side with like diagonal arrows to kind of just give a little bit more separation between the bicyclists and the travel lane. So we may look at that, but there is plenty of space to get them in. So this is kind of a plan view depiction of how that would work. We've shown it with the green pavement. But again, we're looking at to see if there's other treatments that we could do. Haven't been successful yet, but that's kind of how those bike lanes would fit in there. So again, very similar to what's over on Lewis Street. So the schedule for the project, we're hoping to complete final design by January of next year, and then bid and award a contract sometime in February, and then complete construction in May, either before or after Swedish Festival, so it would not conflict with that event. We're always very sensitive about that. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions or take any feedback.
As far as construction goes, are we shutting down all of Draper Street, or it's sectional, or?
It will probably do it in sections, just because it's it's hard to shut the whole street down. The grant is, and the city supplementing this with some road funding, but we're going to do a pavement treatment on Draper as well at the same time, so we don't want to stripe the road and then have to do something later. So right now we're considering a cape seal. So it's similar to what we did over on Marion Street. So it's like a chip seal. So we'll actually put some asphalt emulsion down and put these really fine aggregate rocks down. They're super small. And that gets graded out, and then there's a slurry seal that goes over it. So it'll essentially be like almost a new street. I mean, the surfacing will be like a new street. Mm-hmm. And then we'll put the bike lane striping down, and then we should not have to mess with Draper Street for a very long time.
Has any thought been put into changing our crosswalks to make them a little different? Stamped concrete or something to, and also where we used to have alleys and now we are trying to eliminate the alleys, actually making a crosswalk there. I keep thinking that would slow traffic down, because you've got, whenever you change pavements, people, think, oh, it's a speed bump or something like that. Because we don't have alleys anymore. We have two, I think, left on Draper that are actually usable. To do that, if we're going to be redoing Draper as far as slurry and what you just described, I'd love to see a cobblestone-looking crosswalks type of thing, and I think it would add to the village effect and all that.
Yeah. So to answer the first part of the question, yes, we have talked about that, particularly with the striping that seems to melt and kind of smudge whenever it gets hot. So we have talked about that. One of the things that we've discussed is they have thermoplastic. So thermoplastic is like the thick plastic type striping that you see, but they're thermoplastic mats that actually go in the crosswalk, basically melt them down, and there's all kinds of different colors and texture type graphics, so that you could do brick, you could do cobblestone. But what that does is it prevents from having to actually jackhammer out, take out the asphalt and pour the concrete, because that's very expensive.
Right.
But in terms of the thermoplastic overlays, I think we can do that, and they seem to be very long lasting, like 10 plus years.
Can we fit it into this project so that it's part of somebody else's paying for
I will definitely pursue that with my boss. Yes.
Does it look good?
It looks very good.
Can you tell it's plastic?
Yeah, I mean, if you get down, you can tell, but it looks very good. I can show you some examples.
If you're on
I'd be
your
happy to
hands,
share
if
that.
you're on your hands and knees, you've got other problems.
If it's hard to not pay attention, you probably won't think about it, but it does add that different texture,
a warmth rather than a blackout.
And I think it also kind of makes the crosswalk a little bit more visible.
Mm-hmm. Which is good for safety.
Yeah, I will definitely pursue that. Yes.
I know on Lowe Street that the bike lanes are used all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I see bikes going down my lane all the time. And even like the electric bikes are now like cruising in there too.
That's a big thing that I'm seeing too, is the increase in bicyclists, because the bikes are now electric and you don't have to pedal them, and they just go.
Yeah.
So
One of the
nice.
other things that we've discussed is they had a law, and help me out, Daniel, if I get this wrong, correct me. They had a law that the governor did not sign, but it had passed the legislature, that was going to make it so that if you did not have bike lanes on a road, you could not enforce, you could not restrict bicycle use on the sidewalk. And so, you know, I know that has been an issue here on Draper Street. So if we have the bike lanes on Draper, then we can enforce that, make sure that type of, you know, travel is not happening on the sidewalk, it's happening on the bike lanes.
Yeah.
May I add something? This was presented to council. The direction from council was to bring it to bid and then to talk to chamber, because the conversation when this was presented was, are bikes on Draper really an issue? And we were getting like outside citizens, some of their input, but not really the businesses that see it every moment of every day here on Draper. And so, like, is it an issue with kids or people riding bikes on the sidewalk? Is it dangerous? Is it something that is not an issue right now and we think might be an issue? And so we asked him to bring it to you to ask that question also. Like, do you see the need for bike lanes to get them off the sidewalk?
So my store, I don't see a lot of bikes on the sidewalk on a daily basis. Sundays we do. And my family's ridden on the sidewalk on Sundays too, because it's the only safe day to come down and ride your bike downtown. So a bike lane would create a lot safer environment, and it'd be more family friendly too.
And I said I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to go back to the overall plan too. So if you guys remember, it was trying to create an environment where you can travel in and around the downtown area without getting in your car and then moving it and then moving it and, you know, doing that kind of thing. You'd be able to either come down via ride share, or maybe you catch the trolley or something, you come down here and then you'd be able to move in and around in downtown. Also, we just submitted a grant for electric charging stations over by the depot. So I don't know if we're going to get that or not, but again, for those people that would come to plug in their car, you know, travelers that are on the freeway, come in, plug in their car, they would have these other opportunities to travel. So, and you know, another component of the plan, if you remember, was trying to have you know, e-bikes or e-scooters available. Probably not a whole lot at the beginning, but some just to try it out, see how it works. So if you're able to pull in, you know, park your car, start charging it, you could be able to rent one of those bikes and then travel up and down downtown pretty easily. So,
Well, bicycles are a real issue on this block, and they go fast, and you can't hear them coming. So there's so many times I have just stepped out of my door and almost been hit. And if people would, especially when there's a busy block, people would, if they would just get off their bike and walk them until we get the bike lanes.
yeah.
But it doesn't happen. It's scary, huh, Tammy?
Yes.
The next step would be we'd have to get bike racks, I think.
That
I was
gonna be
just
my
I was
next
going to ask the
question,
same
yeah.
thing. Are we going to have bike
We
stations?
installed
We have
some
a few,
about-
yeah.
we
Yeah.
installed some about 8 to 10 years ago.
There are a couple out there. We're also going to add some in this project as an add alternate, so that
Cool.
if we have enough funding
Perfect.
left over, we can
And they would
kick
bike
those.
over it.
Yes,
Because there's one down by the
For
gym
sure.
that's a dollar horse.
sure. Yeah,
Bella Bakery has the pink one. Okay.
yeah,
So just more of those, basically.
yeah. You know, and I think we've already kind of done some drinking fountain type stuff too. That kind of helps to support that kind of
Yeah.
travel.
Yeah, I like the pet part of the drinking fountain. That part's really neat. Yeah.
That's yeah.
We always tell our customers that are walking with their dogs, we always
Yeah.
point them out and let them know. And they think that's super new and neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, I think that you can go back and report the general consensus is we're
Okay.
very much in favor of this. I get nervous about backing out with the bike, but I think the painted is going to be a key component, because it's not only going to remind the bikers, biker sounds like a motorcycle, the bicyclists, that's their area, but it's also gonna remind people backing out that, oh, wait a minute, there's a bike lane there. You know, it's a, you know, and it would remind me as I'm getting in my car, you know, yes, I'm gonna be backing out, but it's, there's a bike lane there. So I think the painting component that you guys came up with is very, very important.
I like the idea of seeking alternative to the green, though. I didn't.
Well, yeah, like I said, we're looking into, we're kind of running into a lot of
Yeah.
roadblocks. So there's a document called the Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices, and there's a California version of that called the California Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices. So it's very specific on like where you put the stop marking, where it has to go, how close it has to be to the stop bar, what the lettering sizes have to be, what color it has to be. So they're very
Right.
particular about what you put in the roadway because, as the title of the book says, they want everything to be uniform. So they don't want people to come into Kingsburg and start seeing stuff that they haven't seen before and they don't know what it means. And, you know, but you know, so like one bike lane's green and one bike lane's purple. What does the purple mean? And so,
Okay.
and so we're not. We haven't gotten there yet, but we are continuing to look to see if there's some sort of specific, like Kingsburg specific treatment that we could do to that.
Does bike lanes also include skateboards? Where do
I
skateboards fit
don't
in?
think you could skateboard in a bike lane. I don't think so. I think it's specifically for bicyclists.
Okay.
So, yeah, the skateboard issue is still the skateboard issue, I guess. But I think with the bike lanes, I think you can start
they're
to
electric.
enforce. You know, you can start to reserve the sidewalk for walking pedestrians.
Got it.
Okay.
I think that
Okay.
makes that easier.
And I just want to thank you for not picking back-end parking.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So like I said, there's
no, yeah.
there is a lot of agencies doing that, but when we dug into it, we're like, okay, yes, when you're parked and you're in your car, yeah, you probably can see the bicyclist easier, but you still have to back across that lane, either coming in or coming out. So. You know, I think, like I said, I have not heard or talked to PD. There really hasn't been any issues with Lewis Street. So I think as long as the bicyclists are paying attention and the people backing out are paying attention, it seems to work.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I said, we're going to look at trying to put, because we've got a lot of width there. So if we can do like some buffering, so instead of just having a single stripe, you'd have like two stripes with some diagonal hatching that really lets everybody know, hey, you're about to cross into another zone, a different lane.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
We're here for you. Okay. Item number 7, reports from board members.
Gave all mine.
Well, I would like to say that Saturday, I believe, was successful. There was just a continual stream of people coming. Didn't see huge crowds anywhere, but it was constant. And so I think it worked for us.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, I had a really great day. I had a lot of people that were excited about the holidays and came through, and yeah, it was good.
It was nice to see a lot of businesses that aren't all, like, for example, Lauren's not usually open on Saturdays. They were open with a bunch of other stuff, fun stuff going on. So it was nice to see everybody kind of united and supporting the event. That was cool.
Yeah, I think it was good. I think Channel 30 came, interviewed me, and we talked about stuff. And another entity has reached out to me, and they just want to know about if that's going to be an ongoing tradition. The only thing I would say is that if we fall on a Fresno State game, we could probably close at 4.
Yeah.
So,
Because I had to leave early.
because it was like everybody was like, bye.
Fresno State home game.
Home game, yeah. So just be aware of that because you stay that extra
it
2
has
hours.
been every year,
Yeah.
so that we could just shorten ours. Oh,
Yeah.
I did have a question. We had somebody reach out, and they said the trolley stopped running about 5:15, 5:20. And so we wanted, because they asked the driver earlier in the day, they were told 6 p.m., came back to locate the driver, and the trolley was nowhere to be found. So I just wanted to note that in case we're paying till 6 o'clock, they absolutely could not find it
But they enjoyed it during the day, and then they brought their other kids after soccer to find it and couldn't find it. So I told them I would just pass that along. Yes. Okay. Thanks for being here. But everybody enjoyed it throughout the day.
What, I didn't,
That's what I asked too.
I didn't see I saw the trolley pass by, but I didn't really, was it used? Is it
It was used enough that people wanted to come back for round 2 and missed it. So,
okay.
okay, I'll pass that on. You know.
I mean, I've seen it go by Lewis Street a lot of times at different events, and there's nobody in it, type of thing. So
It's like we almost need a track, like a counter, somehow. You know,
Yeah, it'd be nice to know because
Yeah.
I meant,
if we're paying the driver and whatnot.
But if nothing else, it's being seen, and it needs to be seen, because people ask
maybe if
us.
it gets seen, it'd be
Yeah.
used more.
I know, I drove by and I was like, oh yeah, there's a trolley, it's
Mm-hmm.
shopping day.
So
it is a
cute.
visual
Yeah,
Reminder that something's going on downtown.
that's true. That there's something special going on
Yeah.
today versus the normal
Other
Saturdays.
cities have noticed also, I'm on, it's called Five Cities, GTA, it's really like 7 or 8 cities, and they've made comments about the trolley and, oh, could we do like inner city things, like where we partner, and how could we do the trolley, so they're noticing.
Like
Yeah.
our trolley takes people to Visalia and vice versa or something.
Or, just like the small towns like around here.
Oh, okay.
And the reason they're noticing is because of the social media.
Oh, that's good. Ding ding.
Even if we did like a fundraiser. Uh-huh.
I know the driver has mentioned that people that do get on the trolley, wherever they pick it up, he says that they don't always know that it's free.
Okay.
Yeah.
They think that they have to pay to get on it.
Okay. Okay. So some type of a signage that says,
I know you guys put signs up that says like trolley, but
yeah,
it just says
free.
people that come from out of town don't always think the trolley's free.
Yeah, that's a good point because like in certain cities you have to buy a token and pay for it. Okay.
All right, any other business? I have a little bit of business. Okay, other business for me, board positions. I know that Abigail sent out notices and that applications for board positions are due the 31st of this month, 30th? 30th of this month. So I'm not 100% on if we're going to have, I think we're going to have a couple positions open, possibly. But we need to like encourage and just talk within, and this is for the people listening on Facebook, talk with folks that are in our district that are interested in coming on board and helping and, helping drive the focus of this board. And we could always use new blood. And we did get one application.
Okay.
Good deal. So that's just something I want to just kind of bring to everyone's attention.
Chairman Carpenter, you want to explain, it's a 1 year appointed by city council?
It is a 1 year appointed. We've all been here for 2 or 3. And
Reworking all of our commissions and committees to make them just uniform together.
Mhm.
Would you guys be interested if I brought it to council for a 4-year term? I think it was 1 year in the beginning to, is 1 year better than 4 years?
I don't know.
Excuse me. Or 2 years or something.
2.
Where you have
Okay,
enough
I
time
would
to
agree to 2.
get your feet wet and really get it.
yeah, you can't really do a lot in a year.
Yeah.
That's 12 meetings.
Yeah, 2
Yeah.
is reasonable. 4 might be a lot of a commitment to get a variety of businesses
Yeah.
involved. I don't know.
2 year.
I may not live that long.
This is true.
Is 2 years better than 1 year, or should I just leave it?
I wouldn't do a 2 year. I would do a 2 year, yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're totally fine. I would also encourage, if you're listening out there in the world, that I would love to see more professional, goodbye, thank you very much. I would love to see more professional entities come onto our board, not just retail,
To
you know,
balance
like,
the retail and
like
restaurant.
RPS is professionals, but if we have like insurance agencies and things like that want to come on board and help, that would be amazing, because I feel like although we are moving forward with our restaurants and our retails, I still feel that our professional end of our district is a little bit underserved, and I'd like to improve that. So, anyway, that's my pitch. Any other business?
Website update.
Yes.
The quarterly update has been completed. It's a back-end update, so we kind of clarified that. So we're looking to update the directory, the member directory. I'm going to cross-reference it with the current the current paid members. So I'll get a new list. And then there's a fee to edit the directory. So she's going to have a fee schedule for us this afternoon, is including adding the calendar plugin we talked about, which I think is a good idea. I do think that's good. So I guess we'll send that over. We'll get that approved next meeting, right, to get the cost
Yes.
approved.
Are we on a month-to-month with them, or is it a year contract?
That's what I was going to ask. So it's going to ask if there's a renewal for our annual maintenance and whatnot. We need to relook at that. Also, we need to get some of these new businesses their information so that we can update them. So
I sent out an email to all of them, and I added like Quinn's information and how to tag, because you had made a couple years ago last year, like how to tag Kingsburg downtown.
yes.
So I added that information in, and I just had a response from one business for that form for the website. So
Okay.
I could send it out again. Is there like a deadline I should put on it that maybe would be helpful?
So I think my first step here is going to get with you to reconcile how many we need to remove and add. So what are changes? Get a quote for what that's going to look like, because either way we're going to want to update the directory. Do we want to update it with our current contract or seek a new contract? That's another option, right? And then we can start really going after those businesses and trying to get their information from them. If I need, it depends on how many is on the list, but maybe we can do some foot traffic to get that quick info sheet filled out. The next question would be photography. We don't currently have photographs of these new businesses, so we need to go from there. But step one is to see how many we need to add. And I know we need to take some off.
Yeah,
And so she's going to I asked her for a ballpark for 10.
okay.
So we'll pass that. Do we want to put that in next month's agenda, or do you want me to just forward it out to everyone, or what's the best?
We could put it in next month's agenda, but.
In
So
the
you're saying,
meantime,
like, what the quote would be,
Mhm.
you could send it to me, then I could send it out.
Okay.
So that people could look at it beforehand.
Okay.
And then you guys could vote on it.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you have any questions for 5G before the meeting, then
Right.
you get that.
And just like if we are a year or a month
You
to
have our
month, or,
current contract with them? Okay,
Yeah.
maybe we could review that.
Yeah.
Could you send that over to us? Okay.
because we have had some communication issues.
Yeah, I think it's always good to review it on an annual basis.
And also too, I mean, do we want to put a lot of energy into getting businesses on there in December, and then they are not current through May?
Okay, so we need an annual update date. We need
Yes,
a
we
date
do.
like May 1st, this is the new directory or something like that. Okay. Yeah, because I don't want to put all this effort in and these
And
people
then they
don't pay
don't.
their renewal. Okay.
Yeah, and they get, whatever out of that.
Or biannually or however.
So we do have we are online through GovPilot for business licenses, so we've moved from the system that we're using to an online system. So I'm still working out the kinks for sending out notices, but people will be able to apply online. I have most of the bid email addresses, because that's kind of just part of our process. So they should look for a renewal email, and hopefully I should still be able to mail them out in the next week or two. But there will be online payment options, so you don't have to send in a check if you don't want to. You can still send in a check, but they will have to physically go onto our website. There'll be a link on there to do the renewal.
Okay.
And pay with credit card?
If you want, yeah. Or I'll send you an invoice that shows how much you owe.
Air miles.
Nice. And like for depending on your type of license or your category, some of us can't pay until after the first of the year because it's based on annual sales. So we can't pay before that anyways. But what's the hard deadline? Like what is the deadline?
You're,
So business licenses are due January 1st, so sometimes, I mean, you could estimate what your gross sales revenues are gonna be, but there's no penalties until April 1st.
Okay.
And
So
as far as
then-
January 1st, we're closed on New Year's Day, there's, it's just how our code is spelled out, so that's why you have till April 1st to pay before you're penalized.
and we are pretty well compliant within the district.
I think this bid has helped
Yeah,
with your pressure and
yeah,
whatnot,
yeah,
so-
pretty well compliant. It's
FOMO.
awesome. Okay. Any other business, folks? All right,
You
then.
want to go over social media report?
Oh, sorry, Quinn. Come on up.
Quinn's report.
You're not on. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Yes, so overall pretty good engagement. A lot of the months, October, months after big months or months that don't have a lot of big events won't have as much engagement, So, for instance, we dropped a little bit in engagement on Instagram. Part of that is due to also not only being a slow month as far as events that are happening, but last month we had a couple viral, in our terms, videos. June's video, Steve's was very popular, and so what happens is that jacks all of our numbers up, and so then when that doesn't happen next month, sometimes it sort of levels back down to normal, but nothing to be concerned about. It seems like our audience really enjoys seeing the leadership in Kingsburg. So when the business owners get in front of the camera, you'll also notice that we get a lot more comments than normal. So like on Leslie's, yours, we have a bunch of comments, everyone talking about how awesome you are.
Oh, yeah.
That's really nice.
Same thing with
Turned
Steve,
out
same thing with
good.
June. So that's really cool. It's cool seeing that people are paying attention, and they know who's. They know the faces behind the business, I guess. Another sort of good thing I'm going to try to do more is sort of the visitors of Kingsburg, so highlighting people who aren't from here but are visiting, and sort of asking how they came upon us, how they found us. We ran into one lady who was originally from Brazil, then moved to Manhattan, and now they're in Fresno, and she just happened to see the signage, and pulled in, and just thought how cute the town was. So I think people can really relate to that too, who are from outside of Kingsburg. And once again, those types of videos do real well with not just our followers, but our non-followers. Those get a lot of exposure to other communities. So if you look at the insights on those, the stats are like, 60% of the views are from outside towns, not Kingsburg, where sometimes some of the other posts are mostly Kingsburg audience. And so the whole point of the outside audience is that helps follower growth, and the more followers, the more leads you can potentially have to, people coming into your stores and conducting business. So that's pretty much it on the analytics side. We still had a decent amount of follower growth for this month. So just trying to break that 3,000 number, hopefully by the end of the year, and at least on
What
Instagram.
can we do to help you with that?
Share the content.
Sharing
share,
content
share,
is
share.
good. Yeah, sharing content is really good because, then not just the Kingsburg downtown audience sees it, but your audiences see it as well. So that would be really helpful. I had a couple questions I've had a couple messages from non-bid members asking to share, some of their events. Which, as of now, sort of the way I've been doing it is if it has anything to do with downtown, I feel comfortable sharing it because it's our district. Same thing with the chamber, even if it's a chamber event, if it's taking place downtown, let's promote it. But there's been a couple that, for instance, aren't downtown, which I would love to promote. But I'm sort of asking, is there a way for them to do that? I mean, would you like me to still promote? We have the Playhouse. They have. They're going to play, but it's hard to tie that in.
In the past, we had kind of a blanket response. You could probably go back and read some of them. But basically, it was this account strictly shares downtown business and in a nicely ordered way, paid members of the bid. A lot of people ask, can I join this event? Can I do that? I refer them to the chamber because that's typically who's taking applications for vendors. So things like that, or
Right.
contact the city for more information, we kind of refer them out. Because if there's I don't know, whatever example you want to use, a food truck parking on Draper Street and they tag downtown, it's downtown, but they're not in the bid, that's not promotable, I would say. Like, the restriction would be the businesses on the paid list
Okay.
and things that happen at those businesses. Right, I mean, because otherwise, what's the point in restricting it if you have a specific group that's getting the
So
paid
can
promotion?
we, but if I have people in my store that don't belong to the bid,
But that's your store, so you're
so
under
they're
that.
in my store.
And they tag about an event at your store,
Okay.
that's reasonable, because that's taking place at a bid member's place of business.
Okay.
But if they are in the Memorial Park and having a big, huge vendor pop-up, I would say, or even coffee pot park, that's not a promotable thing, because it's outside the realm of the bid, even though it's in the district.
Sure.
It's
Okay.
like businesses, like you're saying, that have asked in the past that aren't in this defined boundary, you know, that to expand that boundary, it would have to go to election, like,
Right.
this was.
Like I've been trying to do with Ramos Torres Winery, because
Yeah,
they have a lot of
totally.
events, a lot,
Right.
but they're technically outside the district. Everything
Right.
on Simpson Street.
And Jolene's not here, but for the background of it, that the reason why it was talked about going to
Yes.
Simpson, because that street, what is our corridor to the downtown?
Right.
But there wasn't business support in that area at that time.
Right.
You know, it is an election, so there has to be a vote where it passes for them to join, so if that's something that they're interested in,
I still say yes, because Simpson Street's changed so much since
Yeah.
that happened.
yeah.
And some of the businesses that were not for it are not there anymore. And now you have a lot of new, like you've got Dutch Bros, you've got Grocery Outlet. Those are very active participants in the
Even
city.
United Health, I've talked to
Yeah.
their manager, and they're really interested in supporting the community, so there could be enough.
I'm sure Bills would
But
be
that has to go
interested.
back to
Right.
city council, correct?
Yeah, that's outside
Yeah.
of
And then-
us, right?
Yeah, well, yes, and then it has to be an election that I'll run with our city attorney.
I still say yes.
I picked up when you said there's slow months when we don't have major activities and all that, and once again, these aren't bid members, but I was thinking about Rotary, Lions Club, Kiwanis, Kingsburg Cancer Volunteers, if he would make some videos, because a lot of their activities are downtown, and it promotes Kingsburg, and for example, the Cancer Volunteers are having their chicken deal at the Santa Lucia Day, and what good they do for the community. The Lions Club is making pancakes Veterans Day, which is within our district.
Right.
And so some of these service organizations that promote Kingsburg as a great place to live, shop, be involved, and all that, even though they're not bid members, if they're a service organization, could we do some where he would have a video that on a slow month, boom, you can pop that in type of thing?
But most of those events are taking place at a bid location, so it still would qualify, like the senior centers where they have the pancake breakfast, right? So that still falls under the,
I just
general
thought it would-
consensus. I think it's a great
Service
idea.
organizations,
Yeah, it's just like a philanthropic aspect of downtown.
yeah.
Well, CAPS, they're outside of our district. And that's something that serves our community quite a bit.
But as soon as they go down to the fire department, it's in the
Yeah.
district,
Yeah.
So then they partner with the fire department and do Toys for Tots or whatever
Yeah.
event, then you've got that. But maybe we need a general guideline of like what to promote and what.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, because I know if that's the problem. If I do one, then
Right.
you got to do
Yeah.
everyone else.
Exactly,
It's
because
a
how do
slippery
you
slope.
tell a bid member that, or someone that hasn't paid that's next door to one that has paid, that you're not going to promote them because they're late on their payment,
And for
but
that we
yet
would, right,
somebody
yeah.
else popped into town for
Exactly.
a weekend only and they got a tag, like there has to be a little bit of a guideline that we can all agree on.
I was thinking too. I don't know if an interim before changing the district boundaries, if there was a way, if businesses really wanted us to share, we could make some connection if they were to pay a fee of some sort.
Yeah, like an affiliate member, we talked about that too.
It's
It wasn't an option.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was trying really hard to get Ramos Torres Winery included in all
they're-
of this.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Because they're so active
Right.
in the public eye. And, yeah. But you're right on track with, we all
Yeah,
agree.
okay.
They could talk to their neighbors, and if they bring something in writing that I could present to council that there's a majority that would join and vote to join the bid, then that's something that,
Okay. Next steps. I think the social looks good though.
Yep.
Yep. Very well done. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I was just looking at my notes, and I think that's about it for now.
That's it. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, dear. All right, so, anything else from anyone? We're good? Okay, we're gonna adjourn at 9:06. And next meeting will be December 5th? Is that it, right, Ab?
Yeah. Tuesday the
First Tuesday, December 5th, 8 a.m. Thank you.